So you want to take your drawings from looking something like this to this as fast as possible. Stick around. Now, this is not going to be one of those generic art advice videos you find on YouTube on how to improve your drawings, with videos marked behind lots of effects, leaving the viewer kind of frustrated. Trust me, I've been there. So in this video, I'm literally going to hold your hands along the way, draw alongside you, and show you how to draw the human figure within a short period of time, and also show you what to practice and what to focus on when practicing. Everything I'm going to show you in this video is what worked for me. Learning to use shapes, yes, shapes, is what changed my drawing drastically. This principle applies everywhere, to environments, the human form, animals, mechs, you name it. So grab your stylus. If you don't have one, grab your sketchbook and your pencil, and let's start. So before we begin, I'm going to explain what the elements of design are, because these are very, very important that you understand. And for the beginners and those kind of struggling out there, I'm going to make it very simple. So every artwork out there done by your favorite artist or anyone, even from nature, has incorporated within it these elements of design. The rest, we're not going to tackle it for the purpose of this tutorial, which is drawing only. So you can use any shape you like, but we're going to stick with only these shapes because these better illustrate the human form: the sphere, the cube, the ovoid, and the cylinder. What they do is they serve as visual tools when you are drawing to train your eye, but you don't have to go super in detail like as I've done in this in this drawing right here. I only did it to show the structure. That's what the shapes are. They illustrate the structure, and the lines actually show the direction. Now, whenever you're drawing the human form, it can be broken down into three sections: the head, the thorax, and the pelvis. Now, this also applies when you're drawing the animals. Now, these are represented using spheres. I personally use spheres. You can use any shape you like, and the rest is just lines and smaller shapes based on that to represent the arms and the legs and so this is like stick drawing, basically just using shapes and lines to communicate what you want to draw. And if you can draw this, you can draw anything. And don't worry if this is kind of like overwhelming for you guys, because in a bit I'm going to go deeper and explain to you what to practice and what to focus on when practice, so that you can achieve this in a short amount of time as possible. So whenever you are drawing the human form, it can be broken into three phases: the gesture, the mannequin, and the muscles, which is the details. So the gesture phase is basically the skeleton, just using stick drawing to use as a visual tool and guide you what you want to draw. And the mannequin is basically refining the lines and refining the shape, and you don't have to go super in detail like just refining the cylinder and the square and the spheres. That can be done if you want to use it for study purposes, for your own practice time, or maybe you are a teacher, you want to show others. You could do that, and then you progress to the muscle phase and the details phase. That is self-explanatory. That is not for this lesson. For this lesson, I want to help you get to drawing as fast as possible using just the shapes and the lines. Now, for the beginners out there and those kind of frustrated and don't know what to practice or where to start, I'll advise you to start by drawing these spheres or squares. Just with free hand, just start doing this. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, it doesn't matter. Just get your hand accustomed to that motion, right? Just keep doing it whenever you are seated, you're in the room, maybe watching a movie or something. Just grab a piece of paper and just do this. It's something I was doing when I was starting. I was just doing these circles. It doesn't matter. So you start to notice a huge improvement on your lines. You know, it will no longer be scratchy lines, but it will now be, you know, just smooth, just flowing. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. You know, practice the lines also. The lines, just let it flow. Just let it flow. Just be practicing these. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're an experienced or a beginner. So I took a couple of drawings from Pinterest. You can find these all over the internet. Just grab some of these figure drawings that others have done. I will encourage that you start by tracing, right? That will actually help you a lot. Why? Because with tracing, you'll be able to develop your eye. At the beginning, you won't have confidence to be able to draw by visualizing. Once you're able to trace these things perfectly, you are well on your way to start drawing just by looking. You might do this just for a couple of days, maybe a week. Just trace these things, these drawings, And I'm telling you, by maybe in 2 weeks time, you start doing this just by looking at things. You just be on your way on the road and be looking at people in your surroundings and just start using these stick figures to draw it, just using these stick figures. And when you get home, you can even start to refine the lines without even having a picture of that person with you. And when you are doing this unconsciously, you are training your eye, right? You are training yourself. And when you are tracing also, your mind is catching certain details that consciously you are not actually picking it up, like the muscles, the movement, how the muscle contracts, and basically the details. You will not notice that your mind is picking, but it does. So one day you'll be drawing and you'll be shocked at what the things that you'll be doing. You can see the lines. I'm using it to show the direction of the shoulders, of the waistline, and also for the arms and the legs. So I use this if the person is inclined, if the person is standing in a neutral position. You should use these lines, the lines that you are practicing. Don't you do scratchy lines. Just set a rule for yourself. When you it might not be comfortable at the beginning, but once you train yourself, it will become comfortable. You just start. You've seen these YouTubers all over teaching the gesture drawing, and they are just using these flowing lines. It's like they don't lift the pencil of the paper. Yeah, it will become easy naturally as you keep doing it. So you can see in this section, I'm starting to approach it without tracing. So once you start to feel comfortable when you've traced for a while and you feel like I can do this without tracing, yeah, just have the image and just start using the same thing you learned, right? So this exercise of tracing the images is not meant to get you comfortable with this practice. It's just meant to be a stepping stone to visualizing, right? So don't get comfortable with tracing. So once you start doing it, it's just meant to get a feel of how these lines and how these shapes work together. So it'll get to a point you start to naturally know, instinctively how tall a person is just by drawing. So when you're drawing, you start to experience that maybe the hands have drawn it too long, or maybe the legs have drawn it too long, because you trained your eye, right? You were not aware, but whilst you were practicing these, you were training yourself visually. And so this is the exercise I actually recommend. It's just like when someone is starting out learning a musical instrument, they teach him the notes and he learns a couple of solos from an artist or maybe like a guitarist, right? And later on, once he gets accustomed to how everything functions, how to make his own solos and make his own melodies, he can now play on his own, right? So that's what this exercise is meant to do. So as you can see, I'm now refining the lines. This is the mannequin stage. So you progress from that stage and you start to refine. It doesn't have to be a perfect like exactly as the image. It's just meant to communicate what you want to draw. Action poses are very dynamic. They have lots of movement within them. Like there's a lot of stretches and contractions going on. So it's very, very good that you grab those kind of images and trace them also. You see a lot of movement in the muscle and everything. And action poses from different angles, from a bird's eye view, worm's eye view, straight camera angles. By doing this, you don't even need to go and study perspective. I'll tell you the honest truth, I never studied perspective. Maybe I did in theory, but in practicing it, I didn't do it. I just traced, and also after learning that, I just started to be able to know by just looking at it and drawing. So once you do this, you are naturally teaching yourself perspective, but indirectly. So that's why I recommend this exercise. Grab images in foreshortening, in kind of like these perspective positions. I'm telling you, it works like magic. So as you do this exercise, within a short amount of time, you'll be able to draw the human form. Then after that, you progress to the next stage, which is the mannequin stage, refining the lines. It doesn't have to be detailed. then you progress to the detail phase, which is the muscles. Now that is a whole study on its own, where you now divide that into different sections. So you start to study the face, so the body, the hands, the fingers, the legs, the feet. So this is like a roadmap basically. So if you are somewhere you feel confused as to where to start, where to go after this, now this is the roadmap. Start by having an idea on how to draw the whole form. Then after you do that, you're able to refine the lines. Then you progress to adding details in the muscles. So that will be a different study the muscles. Then you divide that into different sections. Yes, so that's it for this video. This is an introductory video to how to be able to draw the human form within a short amount of time that will catapult you to the next level of drawing the muscles. So I intend on doing another video on the mannequin phase and the anatomy phase, and so stick around for that video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because that will help me a lot. And like this video if you enjoy this content, and comment if you have any suggestions on what video I should do. And so yeah, see you in the next video.